So what is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel once again. You know, appreciate having you here. I'm out and about, and what we're doing today, this, you might have known by the title. I'm on the NT1100. I've finally got my hands on one. Basically, they only came out this week, so yeah, I'm one of the first to ride this. So we're going to see what it's like. I quite like the look of it, I've got to be honest. We're not going to do the walk around now, we're going to do that a little bit later. This one's got a few extras on. It's got a comfort seat, it's got the top box, but everything else I think pretty much comes as standard. Panniers, centre stand, these deflector things here, wings, I don't know what they do. I suppose they keep the rubbish off your hands. Anyway, that's not what we're doing now. We're not doing a walk round. I just thought I'd give you a little bit of a look at it. That was my boot, apologies. We're going to do that. I'm going to go out to Box Hill car park, do it in a normal place. We're going to ride, we're going to take these country lanes. It is a bloody horrible day in the fact that the sun has just come out, but it's been peeing down all morning, so there's plenty of wetness, mud and crap around. So we shall see what this, I'm going to say, little 1100 feels like on the roads. Let's get gone. As per usual, straight into the sun. Traction control works. Right, so let's get the formalities out of the way before we get into everything else. Thank you very much to Doble's Motorcycles down in Coulsdon for lending me this. I appreciate it. I shall leave a link to their website downstairs in the descriptions box. I shall also leave the link for the specifications for this as well down there. If I don't talk about it in the ride, I shall drop some overlays in when we do the walk around. As for myself, oh, this is the exciting bit. This is what all the ladies come for, you see, just for the measurements. I am now 17 stone, wide in the shoulder, long in the legs, and I'm 6'2". I haven't shrunk just yet. Right, so let's get on with the ergonomics while we're on this little country lane poodling around. And it's not bad. I have just come off my Africa Twin, and my Africa Twin has a high seat, high screen, so it feels a little bit small. Not as in cramped, just as in low to the ground. It doesn't feel like an adventure bike. When you look at it from the side or in the showroom, you think that's an adventure bike. But it's not really, it's kind of a tourer. I don't know what category they put it in, but if it's in the adventure bike, it's wrong. If it's in the touring category, it's spot on. So the seat to bars to peg ratio, I've got to say, is pretty spot on. I haven't been on it long, but it's very comfortable. The bars are nice and wide, so you got quite a bit of leverage. The pegs are in a nice position. My knees tuck in really nicely into this indentation in the tank there. I've got to say, it's really comfortable. And as I said, it has got the comfort seat on, so you would expect it to be comfortable because it's in the bloody title, isn't it? I don't know why they don't put comfort seats on all bikes. They don't advertise the one you buy standard as it comes standard with an uncomfortable seat. But yeah, I don't know what it is about this seat that makes it comfortable, whether it's got gel inserts or something like that, but it is very nice. Quite Alcantara-y, if that's a word. But again, when we do the walk round, we'll have a little look at that. But this whole sort of like triangle, this comfort, it's nice. You can flat foot it really easy. My legs are quite bent, but then I can flat foot my Africa Twin on the high seat setting. As I said, I've got very, very long legs, or long thigh bones, so it's not a problem. If you have got shorter legs, I would give one a go. You never know. Oh look, bit of poetry. You might be all right. I'm not sure. I can't judge for your legs. You'll have to judge for yourself. What is this lorry doing? What is this lorry doing? As per usual, my research is kind of lacking on this. He said I've got one down at the shop. I was meant to pick it up the other day, but we didn't have time. It wasn't ready. So I've come today, and I've come straight from doing something else. So I haven't looked at any specs or anything like that. All I know is it's got the same engine as my Africa Twin. That's it. That's all I know. So this is a pure first impressions ride of what I feel like and how I get on with it. But that's pretty much how I do my reviews, or I'd say reviews, first impressions. You can't do a review the first time you get on a bike, can you? If you are here and you are new, don't forget to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. It's free and it's bloody easy to do. You just go click, done. Also, if you feel like it, give it a thumbs up, give it a like, and then hit the notification bell so you guys can get the drop on these videos. A little bit of self-promotion never does you any harm, you see. Right, so this one's a DCT, which means it's the dual clutch transmission gearbox. automatic or semi-automatic. You've got flappy paddles on here, or you can run it in fully auto mode that I'm in now. You have got different modes. You've got drive mode, which I tend to use when I'm trying to save a little bit of petrol, because it is the most annoying of the modes, because it changes up so quick. You're in 6th gear by the time you're about 30-35 miles an hour, and it's annoying. So I tend to ride everywhere in Sport 2. It's got 3 sport settings: Sport 1, Sport 2, and guess what? Yes, Sport 3. As I said, I ride pretty much everywhere in Sport 2 on my Africa Twin. I could ride in Sport 3, it's not a problem, but I just like to have a little bit of a bonus button for when I'm out having a play. It just steps it up just a little bit more, and it creates that little bit of excitement when you want it. If you do put it in sport mode, it makes it slightly more jerky. The more sports you go up, it makes it slightly more jerky in town, but it's not a deal breaker, you get used to it. Right, let's get back to up the front here. Now the switch gear, you're going to look at that and think, what the hell's going on there? There's a lot going on, and there is. You've got a lot on this, and you've got your DCT and cruise control and everything on this. We shall have a little look at this when we do the walk round, but it's not as difficult as you would think. It's like anything. At first you think, oh, that's a lot going on there, not sure if I can do that. If you're a technophobe, this is probably not the bike for you. But then if you're a technophobe, probably every modern bike is not the bike for you. Go and get something with carburetors. Go on, off you go. I mean, to be fair, you're probably not even watching this now because you couldn't figure out how YouTube worked, so I don't know why I'm telling you that. I don't know whether the power is the same as my Africa Twin. My Africa Twin seems to just pull a little bit better, but then mine's run in. Mine's on 7,500, 8,000 miles, so it might be just a little bit tight. But it's got enough. As I say, you're never going to be wanting for power, unless you're a power hungry megalomaniac, of course. But then if you're power hungry, power mad, you're never going to look at this bike. This is a nice cruisy tourer. That's the way I'm looking at it. It's around 100 brake horsepower. It's quite torquey. It's a parallel twin. It's got that thingy degree crank, so it sounds like a V-twin. I know what I'm talking about. You're dealing with a professional here. But throwing it around these little bends, even in these greasy roads, it handles them really, really well. She's got a bit of poke. When you open her up, even with Sport 2, it drops down and it goes. The weird thing is as well, you know it goes, but it doesn't feel like you're hanging on, because this comfort seat, it's got a little step at the back and it sits you right in the groove nicely. Right, the front screen is adjustable. It's not as tall as I'd like it, but then Honda keep making their bloody screens shorter. It's adjustable. You've got to kind of manhandle it. It's on its highest setting at the moment, and it's putting the wind pretty much at the top of my crash helmet. It's doing a good job, even though this bit is probably level with my chin. This little curve and the way it's sculpted is doing a nice job of breaking up the wind. Plus you've got these little weird wing things down here that stops all the buffeting. It's pretty good. I probably would like a taller screen because I'm getting the wind just basically on my forehead. So if I've got the visor open, it's just catching under the visor. Engine's nice. There's not really a lot I can say about the engine. I've said it in the Adventure Sport video, I've said it in the Africa Twin video, I've said it in many of my videos riding the Africa Twin. It's a lovely engine married to this DCT. I love it. And I would say about DCT as well, if you test ride one of these for an hour, you might not get DCT. You might hate it, you might love it, I don't know. But what I'm trying to say is it took me at least, I'd say, 4 months to really fully understand how to use my DCT gearbox and get used to its quirks and slightly change my riding style, so we all became one. Yes, like that, like one happy family of engine, gearbox and human being. Suspension's quite nice. It's firmer than my Africa Twin, obviously, because mine's quite squishy. It's an adventure bike, but it handles the bumps really nicely. It's not jarring, it's not shaking me about. It does feel slightly vague on the front end, but it is a greasy road, so I would expect that, and I'm not sure what tyres it's running, but they don't feel like they're the grippiest of grippy grip tyres. Yes, that's the thing. It is, trust me. Don't Google it. I made it up. Grippy grip. Got to remember I've got panniers on as well. I nearly clipped a few cars on the way up here. Right, so here we are again, my friends. It's walk round time, and today it's walk round of this, the NT1100. Let me know what you think. Do you like the look of it? Drop a comment downstairs in the comment section. Let me know. I quite like it, and I'll tell you why. Because it reminds me, I'll tell you around the front. I mean, I wasn't going to get to this point, but I'm going to do it now. It reminds me of the XADV. If you saw that from the front, you'd think that's the XADV, and I really like the XADV, so don't coat it just yet, because the XADV is basically a big scooter. Just think about it. It's designed like this for a reason. It's probably quite aerodynamic, and it's a good looking bike. It really is. I like it. It looks really big in the flesh, as in when you're looking at it, but when you're riding it, it doesn't feel that big at all. To be fair, they called it the NT1100, and when I was riding it, I can see why. It kind of reminds me of the old touring NT, the Deauville. But don't hate me for saying that. That was a good bike. Not my cup of tea, but it was a good bike. That was shaft drive. This is chain. We'll go through that in a minute. But this is 1100 cc's of parallel twin. Goodness. Married to a DCT gearbox. It really is a good bike. It's quite different when you think about it. Everyone's gone pure adventure, but not Honda. They think outside the box, you see. They did the XADV and everyone thought they were crazy, but I bloody love that, so there's obviously something wrong with my head. And this, I like the look of it. So let's have a little bit of a walk through. We'll go through the wheels, and then we'll have a little look round in the luggage, dashboard, that sort of thing. Let's crack on. Right, on the front, it's running Metzler, I think they're Rotex. What have we got? We've got a 17-inch rim. It is a 120/70/17 on the front. Twin discs, ABS, Nissan calipers. Upside down forks. And we've got some road dirt. Look at that. I haven't been on it that long. The roads in England are absolutely horrendous for making your bike look minging within minutes. Right, back here is the engine. This is the good thing. The DCT gearbox married to this 1100 parallel twin. That's around 100 brake horsepower, and it's a very nice engine indeed. I've had two bikes with this engine in, one with the DCT and one with the manual, the 1000cc Africa Twin and the 1100cc Africa Twin. The one I've got now, 1100 DCT, but you knew that because I've bloody banged on about it so much. Down here you've got the foot peg, a little bit of squidgy rubber on there, and then your brake. Back here, pillion foot peg, and that is just standard metal. And yeah, nothing fancy. And then your exhaust there, which is covered by this pannier. The panniers are standard on it. The top box is extra and the seat is extra, but the panniers are standard, as is the centre stand as well. And then on the back we've got a 180/55/17 Metzler on the back. I'm not sure they all come with Metzlers. I'm not a massive fan of these tyres, I've got to be honest, but they do the job. And I say, this is not a breakneck speed bike, so they're pretty good. I haven't had any problems on the way down here. That's what she looks like from the back. Leave it. Down this side, again, pillion foot peg, There you go, that's your foot peg, a little bit of squidgy rubber, and no gear shift because it's DCT. I'm not sure if you can get the DCT gear shift foot thing for this. That's a technical term, it's probably not called that in the bump, but you know what I mean. Basically a foot shifter, you can get them for DCTs. I don't know why anyone would, but if you fancy it, have a little look. The colour of this is like a matte metallic grey, silver kind of thing. Not quite sure, but it is nice. I quite like it. I'm not 100% fan of matte colours, but this one's not too bad. I mean, it does look a little bit darker because it's full of road grime. On the front here, you've got these little wing things, these. Oh, nearly broke that then. That's a little bit, that's quite flimsy. So don't manhandle that because that'll break. But it does a good job of breaking up the wind around here. And obviously you've got this adjustable screen. I'd love to show you how it works, but I can't do it with one hand. You have to do it with two hands and kind of wiggle it, which to me is a bit of a pain in the backside. Either a button or a little lever, make it easy so you can do it, just stops at the traffic lights or on the go, because weather's forever changing. So sometimes you want it in sports kind of screen and other times you want it high. The seat, this is the comfort seat. It feels like, I don't know whether it's got memory foam or gel in there, I'm not quite sure, but it is nice, it's comfortable, and this little backrest here sits you nicely in there, so when you accelerate you don't slide back at all. This is very, very grippy. It is comfortable, it is. I'm not sure how comfortable the normal seat is, whether they sell you an uncomfortable seat and then try and promote you up to the comfortable seat. I'm not sure how it works. As far as I'm concerned, all bikes should come with bloody comfortable seats. Right, let's grab the key, we'll have a little look at the luggage. It's all a single key, so the same key for the ignition. As I said, these are standard. How do they open? Like that. It's got a bag in this one as well. There you go. Actually, if I go around the other side, you might be able to see it a little bit better. You've got to watch this little thing in here. It does fall out there and get caught, so you kind of got to tuck it in. I've never been a fan of side opening bags, simply because you open them and all your stuff falls on the floor. Right, let's try this one. Are they both the same size? Let's have a little look. They're pretty much the same size. This one's got a little cut out there, so we'll have a look in this one. It locks like that and it holds it, so to release it you've got to pull it like that. There you go. And that's pretty much that. Without the bag, I'd say that's pretty useless. But here, look, I'll show you what I mean by that little strap. See that? That's what it does. I mean, it does a job of holding the lid, but because it's sloped down that way, to be fair, it's much easier when you're not filming. I've got to say that. It really is. Right, up here, top box. This is extra. This does not come with the bike. You have to pay for this. It is nice though. It's the same colour. Here you go. You've got this insert, which is the same colour as the paint there, which is nice. And then you lift it up and you've got that amount of room there. So depends on if you've got a massive head, or there's two of you with massive heads, you're probably not going to get a lot in there helmet wise. But if you've got little pinheads, you're fine. It's a nice top box, as in it looks nice, it suits the bike. It's a good looking luggage set, if that's the thing. Can you have a good looking luggage set? I don't know, we have got one now. Right, so at the front you've got LED headlights and indicators. The indicators stay on and then flash when you use them. You've got this running light that runs down the middle of the headlights, and then you've got your full beams and your normal. And there you go, that's your full beams on there. Pretty bright, I've got to say. It lights up both the top and the bottom. On the back, LED tail light and indicators. Obviously the indicators don't stay on the back, they just flash when you use them. And that is pretty much what I've got on the Africa Twin. Same rear light. Right, so let's have a quick look through the handlebars and the dashboard before I head back and give it my final conclusion. On the left hand side you've got all your gubbins here. This is all your system that controls everything on the screen there. You've got favourites button up and down, left and right, back. This is for your music, skip, enter, hooter, indicators, hazard lights. That's your downshift. And then up here you've got little function buttons for stuff that's on the screen, heated grips, etc. And your telephone stuff, and you can scroll through certain things with that. Then you've got your headlights there, that's your flash, that's your full beams. And on the back here we've got, that's your upshift little paddle there. Over this side you've got your start, This is your DCT mode, so you've got manual or automatic. If you go manual, it means you can use the flappy paddles on that side. You've got neutral, drive and sport modes. Down here, cruise control. You've got set, resume, all that sort of malarkey. You've also got your brake lever here, which is adjustable, and you've got a little function button here that plays with stuff on the screen, as I will show you in a minute. Well, I won't show you what everything does, I'll just give you a quick run through of the screen. Here, because it's an automatic, it means if you park it on a hill, it's going to be in neutral when you've got the bike off, so you need to lock it somehow with the brakes. So that will just lock it so it stops it rolling backwards and forwards. A little bit like leaving it in first gear when you've got a normal bike, but it is really handy. I use it a lot on, guess what? Yes, you guessed it, my Africa Twin. Up here you've got a 12-volt charger there. Right over here, that's your USB port. That's where you plug your phone in, so you can get all your Apple CarPlay and Android Auto goodness onto the screen. Right, so you just press this button to clear it, and it brings up your normal screen here. Now let's start with one. Let's push it over there. It is touchscreen, but it's only touchscreen when you're stationary. On the move, you have to use this little gizmo down here to scroll through. For example, if I press this, it goes through the modes. So you've got rain, urban, tour, user 2, and obviously user 1. We will keep it in tour because that's the nicer mode, gives you the most information. I believe you can customize these screens, I know you can on mine, to set them up so any of those other 2 screens or 3, 4 screens you just looked at, you can make your main screen look like those and just hide some information or put up as much as you want. Right, let's quickly run through it. So this is trip A, and we've got information down here. So you got average consumption, average speed, and then something consumption, then trip B, and yeah, all that rubbish. And then 3, I think you can customize this one. I know you can on mine, so you can have up on this bit what you want. If you want any of the selections you had before, you can put them on here. You got a date, 12 volt and range. I quite like the range up all the time. You've got 183 miles left in this tank, and you're just 1 bar off the top, so 200 miles should be pretty easy on this bike. And then number 4, that's your traction control, so you can just do that, and if you see down there the T down the bottom, that's turning your traction control up and down. So that's number 3, and we'll leave it on full traction control. We'll see how much it interferes on the way back. Right, looking around the screen, let's go back to normal. As I say, your little info there. Here's, you've got your tour, that tells you what mode you're in. Little Bluetooth when you're connected by Bluetooth there. There is a little trick you can use, I don't know if it works on this one, so you don't have to connect it to a Bluetooth headset all the time. You can still use maps and everything via your phone by cheating a little bit, but that's a whole nother video. Right, now here you've got your side stands down, that's your time up there. Your temperature is saying 14 degrees because we're sitting in the sun. What a beautiful day, and it's February. You got a rev counter, speedometer, you got neutral, or should I say your gear indicator, fuel, engine temperature, and here you got traction control, engine braking and power. These are all adjustable, and you can set them how you want and then use it in user mode 1 or 2, if that makes sense. Down the bottom, neutral light, oil light, traction control. You got these lights down here, that's been on all the time. Hasn't got spotlights, so I don't know what it's for. I think it's just telling you got daytime running lights, I'm not sure. ABS light, you've got a neutral light here, total miles and miles per hour. And the reason this has got a double screen is when you use your Apple CarPlay or you connect your phone and you use this for maps, it means this is totally maps up here, but you still got your speedo and your gears down here. Handy, eh? And also down here, this will tell you what mode you're in. It'll be D for drive, N for neutral, and then you've got sport 1, 2 and 3, and it'll come up there. Oh, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put the screen back up. I just realised it's really windy in my face. Can we do this from here? Oh, we're having a go. No, it's not working. Oh dear. Right, this is a big no-no, people, this screen. Look at that, no faff at all. Ridiculous. I don't like that. Right, this road is awful, as in it shows up the suspension, so I quite like riding it. It's a fun little road, but it's very, very bumpy. Yeah, it's still a bit greasy out, so I've got to be careful, can't go mad. But the suspension's not bad, it's handling it quite nice. Watch out for the partridge. And the other one of the most stupid birds in England. They're like suicidal most days. Yeah, suspension wise not bad. You can feel it's got 17-inch wheels because it's not soaking them up as good as a 19 or a 21, but it does mean it's sharper in the sense that you can push into the bends a little bit better. So handling wise, it's quite nice. I like it. I'd like to test it on a pure dry day and see how I can throw it into the bends and see what these tyres handle, and hopefully not fall off. That's always a bonus, that is. So does this bike have any rivals? What would the rival be for this bike? 100 brake horsepower, kind of Tourer. I don't know. Leave a comment downstairs in the comment section. What would you pit against this? Naturally my mind goes RT1250, but the RT1250 is in the category way above this. So I'm not sure what this would compete with, or if they've created a niche for themselves. I suppose they have with the DCT gearbox. This is one of one. But it's lovely around these little back lanes. Just cruising around. It's really comfortable. It goes where you want it to go. There's no fight in it. Doesn't feel like it's stepping out. Doesn't feel like it's skitting about all over the place. It feels really poised and comfortable. I'm liking it. I really am. Still not sure about this colour though. It's a bit dull. What they've created is an NT, which the previous one was nicknamed the Dullville, and then made it matte grey. So they're not swinging for the fences, let's say. I've got to admit, this bike took a little bit of getting used to, in the fact that I was expecting Africa Twin type thing. Because of the engine, and it's kind of in this faux adventure guise, I kind of expected it to be adventure-y, but it's not at all. It's just a normal bike, and I like it for that. I do. This is a weird bike. It's strange. I really like it, but I have no idea why. I had no preconceptions of this. Well, I did. I tried not to have any preconceptions of this, but in your mind, especially if you're an Africa Twin owner, knowing this engine, you get on it and you're automatically comparing it to your Africa Twin. However, it's a completely different bike. It feels different. The way the engine goes is different. I don't know whether it's tuned different, but it doesn't feel anything like the Africa Twin. It feels like a competent road little sport Tourer. As I said, with the engine, it's not that powerful that it's going to smash your eyeballs back into the back of your head. It's none of that, but it's fast enough to keep you entertained. Honda are doing what Honda do well. They're just making an easy bike to get on with, something you could just stick the key in and it does exactly what it's supposed to do in the bump. Mirrors, we didn't talk about the mirrors. They're very good actually. I can see a little bit of my elbow. Say this line here, this bit here is my elbow, but all this bit here is behind me, so you can see plenty. And obviously if you're slimmer in the shoulders than I am, you're going to see even more. So they're good. Now what I'm about to say, don't let this put you off, because this is a good thing. Trust me, if you're doing lots of distance and you want an easy life, this is a good thing. It feels like a big scooter. It really does. Apart from you can't put your feet forward. I mean, if you get crash bars you could. Apart from your foot position, it's as comfortable and as protective at the front as a big maxi scooter, but it handles like a bike, and it is a bike, and it looks like a bike, and it's very bikey bike. I'm going to go out on a limb and say Honda are going to sell loads of these, absolutely loads. I'll tell you where I think people are going to come to this from, and that's the NC750s. If you've got an NC750 and you love that, if you get on this, with this engine, this 1100, it's a step up. I can't remember, I've got panniers. And then I'll tell you my thoughts, whether I would buy one, live with one, consider one, sleep with one, marry one, maybe just tickle one a little bit. Who knows? You'll find out in a minute. But let's just do a quick summary. Right, ergonomics, pretty good, very comfortable. It has got the comfort seat, as I said before, so that might be a contributing factor. The frontal area, I think this screen looks pig ugly, and it is a right pain in the backside to get up and down, as you saw. These little wind deflectors, whatever they do, they seem to work. Again, they look a bit pants. They're a bit like me. They're efficient, but don't look too good. The suspension is not too firm, it's not too soft. You might struggle on the front if you're really pushing on, but I don't suppose anyone buying this bike is looking at a pure-on sports bike. You're looking for a bit of comfort to tour on, and it does that bit of it perfectly. So the conclusion overall on this bike is I really like it. It's nice. It surprised me. I thought it would be a rubbish Africa Twin, but it's not. It's a completely different bike. I'm not even going to compare it to the Africa Twin anymore. Dash is the same, engine's the same, but the way it is configured, it's a completely different bike. As I said, with these 17-inch wheels, it makes it more road biased. You feel like you're on a tourer. You don't feel like you're perched up in the air. I like it. I really do like it. So the £2.85 question is, would I buy one? No, I wouldn't. Why wouldn't I? Because I've got an Africa Twin, and I've got to say, my Africa Twin is much better. It just feels more, I don't know, it just feels more of everything, and it fits me better. I'm tall, you see, so I've got an Africa Twin with a high seat, whereas this one's quite low. And I don't know, I just like the suspension. It suits me. I've got used to mine. Everything about my Africa Twin I love. So would I swap it for this? No, I would feel like I'm downgrading. I really would. But if you want a road-based Africa Twin engined bike, perfect. And if you're stepping up from the 750s on the way up, perfect. And if you've got no interest in a bike with a 19-inch front wheel or a 21-inch front wheel, this is your puppy for touring. It's really easy to get on with. You could ride this all day, get to your hotel and just chill, and you'd have had a good time doing it, but you wouldn't be knackered. And that's what I can say about this bike. I wouldn't say it's glorious, I wouldn't say it's rubbish, but what I would say is it does everything it's supposed to do absolutely perfectly. So on that note, I'm going to end the video here. Once again, thank you very much to Doble's Motorcycles down in Coulsdon. Once again, check them out. I shall leave the link to their website downstairs. And if you are in there, go and give Ian a high five or just wave at him from a distance, as I said. The specifications for this bike are down there as well. So that just leaves me to say thank you for joining me on this one. I do appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe, to like, to share, do all those things that you need to do. Also, hit that notification bell so you guys can get the drop on these videos. If you want to leave a comment, leave that downstairs in the comment section. You know, I love you all. Stay safe. Fish out.
Get all your bags, get out my house. I don't want your stuff around. I never did you wrong, but you did me wrong. So go ahead, get gone. Get all your bags, get out my house. I don't want your stuff around. I never did you wrong, but you did me wrong. So go ahead and get gone.